Well, hello everyone, Daniel again with another edition of, let's call it a song by Daniel, where I present one of my songs. Try to give you a little bit of a background to the song, how it came up, and if it tells a story. And it is also your weekly dose of strumming pop rock music. You know, when you eat, you have to eat some cereal, vegetable and fruit, protein, dairy products. So I will be the one who will be giving you a little bit of strumming pop rock music among the other person who posts their performance here. And by the way, there are great fingerstyle player and great flat picking with great voice. So I recommend you to look at the other performance here on the forum. So today we will be looking at 1967, which is the title of the song. I will explain how it came, why I call the song 1967. Well, let's explain it right now. When I made that song, there was a part of the song that was telling me this is music of the 60s. I don't know why. It was a little where I go. That, I don't know why. It keeps telling me music from the 60s. So when I finished the song and recorded, so I have to find a title. So with no lyrics, since all my songs are instrumental, I had to find a title. So 1960, the 60s. So I ended up with 1967. There are lots of things have happened in 1967, so because of two reasons that I chose. First of all, in Canada in 67, we had in Montreal, we had what they call a Universal Exposition, or a World Fair called Expo 67. There were, I think, 70 to 80 countries who participate to that exposition, that fair, with over, I think, 100 governments, which had pavilions, pavilion of, and each country was exposing, I don't know, their art, their music, their food. So it was a huge success at the time. Just to give you an idea, there were over 50 million visitors to the expo, and the total population of the province of Quebec was 6 million at the time. So it gives you an idea of the success of that exposition. So because of that, I chose 1967, and there is also another reason why in 67, and the other reason is connected with the first. In 1967, on June 1st, 1967, it was the release of Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. So it was an album that was expected, so it was a great, I don't know, everybody was waiting for that album to come out. And it is connected with the expo because at the expo they had a pavilion of the youth for the young. So they wanted to make a kind of stunt, so they hired a stewardess, I think, say a woman who works on a plane. So they hired her to go to London the day before, and first thing in the morning on the June 1st, 1967, go to a record store, buy the LP, the album, hop as soon as possible in a plane to go back to Montreal to bring the album to Montreal, because in the American market, in the US or Canada, the release was the day after or 2 days after. So they wanted to have the opportunity to hear the song, the album in first place. So the person did what she was told to do. So she bought the album, fly back to Montreal, and a flight between London and Montreal is 5 or 6 hours, and the difference of time between London and Montreal is 5 hours. So you, I don't know, you take the plane at 2 o'clock in London and you arrive at 3 o'clock in Montreal. So it was done, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the album was arrived at the Youth Pavilion, and they played. Well, they announced first that they would be playing, so there were so much people, I think, there to listen. They ended up to play the album on the PA system of the whole site. So from 4 p.m. to the closure time at 2 a.m. in the morning, Sgt. Pepper has been played in a loop all day long to the people. So it's a little fact about Sgt. Pepper and Expo 67. I'll put a link below the video where you can see a few 20-25 pictures of Expo 67 to Expo 67, so you can have an idea of what it looked like at the time. So the song the song is 1967, and 1967 doesn't tell a story like Roxanne last week. The song reminds me a certain era, the 60s, like I told you. And by the way, a little story about Roxanne. Looking at my YouTube channel this morning, I saw beside Roxanne a note saying copyright claimed by somebody. And it was the UMG, I think it's the Universal Music Group, who was claiming some copyright that I've used in Roxanne, because in the beginning of Roxanne I used 20 seconds of Roxanne by the Police. So I received a notice saying that you have used copyrighted material, and but they were kind enough to told me you can use it. So welcome to the machine. So I was really surprised to do that. So that means that we must always take care of what material we use on YouTube. So 1967. So the song 1967. 1967 is based on a descending run that you use when you play a little blues for the turnaround. So you end up, if you are in key of E, you end up doing this. And you go on with your blues. So that turnaround, that's what the song is constructed, is based on that, on those notes with a different rhythmic. song. The song is divided in three parts. The first part, you have a few verses, and the middle part is a slower pace. The first part and the end, the beginning and the end are at 120 beats per minute. The middle part is at 37 beats per minute. It's like 1960s. Everything was going fast, and you have to take a risk between the two parts. So that's why I have the slow part while I play a little solo there. So electric solo. So, and it ends up with chords. The main chords are an E minor, an E minor 7, an E minor 6, and an E minor with a flat 13. So that's the chord finder that tells me that, because I didn't know. So you have those notes that descend, which and then I have the little riff that reminds me of the 60s. Slow pace. It's an E minor 7, an E minor 7 with an A7. Then I have also, I can go there, so that's an E minor 7 also. That's A7 also, the same thing. With another voicing, and I have an E minor 7 here also. In the song I go I slide down. And then I go back with the fast tempo. So I will give you a little example of the sound, which is shrinking a little bit. So the complete version will be in the link below the video. Okay, that was 1967. Next week we will have The Fly. The Fly. You may think that the song is about a fly, but you are right. The song will be about a fly that flies in the house. So see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.